talking about our word.
My word was kindness, that I wrote the first day.
Same as Kat.
Yeah.
What made you choose it?
Kindness to myself and kindness to others, and especially feeling kind of selfish coming on this journey, putting so much time so away from my family.
Oh yeah.
And so being kind to them and understanding when they would get impatient with me or feel that I was not giving them as much time as they needed. And
do you feel like, is that why you chose Dora's like class? Like the YTT here, the format, because that meant a lot to me, is how much time I did have to process and like live my life.
you know what's funny is I've wanted to do the teacher training for a very long time, but I really never understood that it was only we get together one weekend a month. I was thinking it was every weekend or something. And so I think for a long time I was like, well, I don't have time for this. And so had something, my mom died, that's what pushed me to do it. Finally I was like, I'm gonna take time for myself and help me process. And so in doing it, I was like, okay, well, this isn't such a big deal, it's only one weekend a month. And and now it's only an Issaquah, sorry I keep hitting you. And but it was like it was nice. It was nice to come over here and get away and be in person again, because I haven't been in in-person classes, since, COVID and all that. But for me, the Zoom really works because I have a young son. When he's with me, I couldn't go to class, but now I can. And I can do it, in the middle of the day, on my lunch break, and it's just perfect for me. So
we were also saying that by only meeting every once a month, that's where we're allowed to like absorb kind of like the drizzle versus a downpour, right? Like she gave us so much each session, and then you had time to process it or absorb it or think about what that meant or incorporate it versus just like, here's everything all at once.
And the books we read, I felt were really good. I really liked doing the exercises, and I think it's awareness. I want to go back and do all of them, because the ones that I did, I was like, wow, that was
really thoughtfully put together.
Really like impacted me. So I really like the one where you could rewrite a bad experience.
During the 40 days portion?
In, writing that story and then rewriting it. And I was like, oh my God, and it worked. It totally worked.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And with your smile, I feel like with that memory, it was very meaningful to me.
Yeah, it was like, oh, how can this be any different? And it changed it. It totally changed it.
I understand that.
I love that. And that's the kindness that you can, I guess, you're looking for, and maybe now you're able to exercise it.
Oh yeah, because I'm, definitely one of those people who will just beat myself up, and I'm so hard on myself. And that's when other people in my life are like, you're so hard on me. I'm like, well, try being me. But I need to ease up on other people in my life too, and myself.
What's the effort in these?
Yes.
What about you, Haley?
My word at the beginning of teacher training was trust. I just wanted to kind of trust the process of the next 10 months that I was about to go on, not try and control things too much, holding space for whatever came up in me or other people. And then today, my word that came out of me when we were going around the circle was balance.
That's right.
So I think now that I've trusted the process, I'm at a point of I need to practice what I preach. So I need to slow down and I need to know when I need to slow down, and then I need to just balance. I do a lot of things in my life. So I have a left brain job, but I'm a very right brain person.
Yeah,
and
you
so
are.
just
It's so creative. I love it. And so, I, if I remember correctly, like you knew coming in, you want to teach yoga. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was interesting too, because when I started the journey, I went to Spira first in West Seattle. I grew up in West Seattle. So my first ever yoga class was with Dora.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I always heard people talking about the yoga teacher training, and they always just seemed like a tight knit group. And I was like, that's definitely in my future. And then I decided I wanted to pursue the journey after college because I had a lot of free time and also needed to put down roots back in the Seattle area. And I started because I wanted to like heal myself. But throughout the journey, I felt that shifted more to being about other people and teaching other people it. But then it's even more interesting to me that in these past couple of days, I felt that it's also been about all of you guys in this community.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it's really weird. I mean, it is like loving. That's why I said love. It's just I
Yeah.
felt so much of it in the last, especially during this graduation weekend. Like it's all culminated together.
And even practicing with all of you guys today, it just like it
That
really
was
felt
awesome.
like
Good energy.
something
Yeah.
was going on in the air.
They're
Yeah.
great. They're great.
Yeah, no, because I remember, Dora always talking about community, and I was like, well, I've never made a friend in yoga class. Like you go, you're on your mat, you're in your own
Yeah,
mat.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I was like, what community,
Yeah.
But yeah, going through
That's
this,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, that was an unexpected piece for me too. I think I didn't know that that's really what I was seeking out, but
Mhm.
That's very, and you know this, I said
Yeah.
this is really special for me because I feel like in the beginning, no one, knew what we all did. And it was so true that we have that title, and it is sometimes a filter that you make friends through, or don't make friends through. Yeah. and
Yeah.
For me to connect with everyone here, when no one knew what I did and I don't know what you guys did, I felt like it brought us back to somewhere really holistic.
Mhm. I still don't know what the majority of people
I
do.
don't either.
Yeah,
I don't either.
But Cam being our only male
yeah.
YTT student, I think says a lot, because there's not a lot of men in yoga. You're right,
Mhm.
at least not that I know of, but you're like so dedicated in class and you're so thoughtful. Like, what brought you here?
Yeah.
Jamie Monty brought me here.
Oh, yeah, the teacher.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to give proper attribution to her. She was somebody that Jamie is such a what do you call it? Not paradoxical, but she's so soft and so gentle, but just wickedly strong
Yeah.
in her body.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, have you guys taken class
Yeah.
with her? Have you
Yeah.
ever, so here she teaches a yin.
Yes.
So have you ever taken the non-yin
Yes.
style with her? Like she will crush you.
Yeah.
We did it.
So if there's anything to reincarnation, that looks like that yogi has been through this a lot of times. Because I don't have any other explanation as to how someone
Can be.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens, man. She's just a little will-o'-the-wisp, and she's like she can do some wacky things. But anyway, so that she's what brought my attention to the studio at all. I was on her mailing list, and I got a note from her one day saying, "Hey, do you still want to be on this?"
Okay.
And so I read it. Probably that was the first time I had read it in some time. And,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh yeah, I want to be on that. I want to know what you're up to." And then she was teaching here. So then I came down and then I met Dora, and then Dora also in somehow, and I think I have to say that it's intuitive. So the depth of so just like I said about Jamie, that there's something emanating there that feels almost timeless. So Dora, we get to know a little bit about her, or a lot about her, over the course of this. And there's a depth of experience, like embodied experience in this world, in this time. Like there's some really peculiar things about Dora. And I don't mean that in a derogatory manner at all. So if I think about where she's come from and what she's done, it makes a lot more sense now as to why I came and spent this time with all of you. I've had the privilege to spend all this time with all of you, I'll say. It's probably a better way of saying it. You cannot teach something that you do not, I'll say, possess. And I think, isn't aparigraha, isn't that the word for
Non-grasping.
non-grasping? So that has something to do with possession, as far as I'm concerned. So I noticed you said a little while ago, we all have this particular label, the job. I'm inclined to think that that's a misapprehension, and I think that's the point that she was making when she said, "Don't tell each other what your story is, what your labels, those things that you tend to possess." There's a genuine possession, and that possession, the thing about yoga for me specifically, is that it insists upon the body. Bring the body. What's the body have to say, show, demonstrate? So that particular body, Dora, brings a body of experience that is genuinely deep to this particular tradition, I'll say.
Right. Which lends to why we all have gone through this journey and learned so much more than we probably expected.
Yeah.
Well, and feeling and being surprised by things, that you said something to that effect a little while ago.
That's what I was
Where it's like, wasn't expecting that, or didn't know that I was looking for that.
Right.
Ah,
There's also so many studios that offer this training.
Right.
And for some reason, we were all called to this one specifically, because I'm sure that we all took classes here before, felt Dora's energy, and then felt called to come hear the extent of what she has to say.
And I feel like as I sit here and interview different groups of people, I hear this sort of the same underlying message is that it is spiritual. There's more to yoga than just asanas.
Yeah.
You know what
learning the
Occurs to me is Dora said it so often that I feel like applies here, is the authenticity, right? Like Dora and her unique personal background and all these different facets of her life all fold together very perfectly to make this beautiful yoga teacher. And she's very authentic, and I feel like she's calling all of us to pull out that piece.
And the
of
same with the
ourselves.
teachers that she chooses to have work here all have to have, that energy too. Because I've never had a bad teacher.
Yeah,
And I've
very true. Yeah, very true.
been going here for 10, 11 years. It's been a lot. Yeah.
Anything else we should share why we love YTT here? Anything for the future students of YTT at Spira? That they're looking, they're considering, there's different studios, why should I come here?
Change your mind, change your life.
I think you'll know if you want to come here. It feels right. But I would say too that just be open. You're not going to just come and learn how to teach or learn yoga better. There's the philosophy and the history, and you just, in your own mind and state, you're going to change. So if you want to teach or not, it's going to be with you.
We're also not done learning. We're not we didn't come out of yoga teacher training as like enlightened beings or anything. Like, that wasn't the goal.
No, I feel like we now know we know enough
Yeah.
to know what more to look
Mhm.
for.
Mhm.
Whereas before it was like, how do I do the best looking pose?
Yeah.
We're more consciously on the path,
Yes.
right?
Well, Dora sparked interest in all these, in the different books and different things. Then you're like, oh, I want to go and explore more and more.
Absolutely. What do you think, Carol? Any other final
I think
thoughts?
that's a beautiful place to close it.
Yeah. I know.